Yo, what is going on today, everybody, and welcome back to another Fortnite Chapter 4 video. This is a video that I've been very excited to post for you guys, as today we're going to be diving into the new format for the new solo victory cash cups in Chapter 4 Season 3, and absolutely everything that you need to know and that you can do to qualify for finals. This video is going to be stacked with loads of tips and tricks that you may or may not already know about the new season, so definitely be sure to watch until the end, because I guarantee you this is going to have you ready to qualify. For this video, I'm going to set a very ambitious like goal. I want to see if we can smash out 1,000 likes. You guys have been showing so much support here on the channel, and we're about to hit 10,000 subscribers. If you enjoy Fortnite competitive content and you're not subscribed, be sure to do so. We're going to be having a pretty special event here on the channel for when I hit 10k, so you don't want to miss that, as well as typing in code JCMYT in your Fortnite item shop. So I'm going to go ahead and let you know right now, this video is going to be divided into two main chapters, and if you want to skip through them to the parts you want to see, then it's at the bottom of your screen. You can check it now. The first chapter, we're going to be going over the new format, everything that you need to know before jumping into the tournament as far as scoring goes. And then the second chapter is what you guys are probably excited for the most. Is going to be all of the gameplay tips, all that type of stuff. Also, this is a little bit of a side note, but in this gameplay, I was jumping into Unreal Solos with the intention of playing it how you need to play in the solo victory cash cups, and you're going to see why. So let's go ahead and let's dive right into everything you need to know about the format first, and then we'll get into the gameplay. The first thing that you really need to know is that in order to compete in the first place, to be eligible, is that you need to hit gold 1 in ranked mode. That is something you're going to notice for pretty much every tournament this season, is that there is now a rank requirement in order to be eligible to compete. As far as the scoring format goes, it's the exact same format as Chapter 4 Season 2, with the addition of a couple new ways that you can earn points in your matches. So within Chapter 4 Season 3, there are now new things that you can do within your match that will earn you points towards the leaderboard in the tournament you're playing. For example, you will get 3 points for each cash that you capture, as well as 3 points for capturing the floating island's flag and getting the mythic drum shotgun. And the third one is you will also gain 3 points every time you open a vault with a key card. One thing to keep in mind about all of these is that you don't necessarily need to obtain the loot from these things, you just need to open them. That is it. That is how you get the points for it. I'm going to bring this back up in the gameplay portion of things, but keep that in mind because that is a massive change. And just in case you weren't aware of what the format was last season, you can get up to 30 points from just placement if you win the game, and each elimination is worth 1 point. To me, the craziest thing about the format is that just by capturing your cash, you're getting the amount of points that you would get for 3 eliminations. Each round is going to be the same amount of time as it was last season, so round 1 is going to be for 2 hours, and round 2, the finals, is going to only be an hour. And to qualify to finals, you have to be in the top 7,500 players at the end of round 1, just how it was last season. So the only real massive format changes are those 3 new ways of earning points in your matches. Keep in mind that the first solo victory cash cup is going to be on Sunday, June 18th, and round 1 is going to be from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And as far as the format goes, that's pretty much all you really need to know before jumping into it. Now, for what is easily the most exciting part of the video, we're gonna dive straight into all of the gameplay tips and tricks that you guys are gonna need to be aware of if you want the best odds of qualifying for finals. So this game right here, this was a win that I got in Unreal Ranked Arena, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go inside my mind and give you guys a step-by-step breakthrough of how I won this match. Keep in mind, this is not typically how I play Unreal Ranked, but what I did with this game was I played it how I would play a solo victory cash cup game. I'm gonna start off by saying the same thing that I almost always say in solos tips and tricks. The number one thing is mastering your drop spot. It is arguably the most important thing every single time. It doesn't matter if you're landing in Timbuktu or Nebraska, as long as you're the first person there, that's the only thing that matters. You're gonna notice right here that because I beat this guy to the spot, I was able to almost get the elimination on him. There are 2 reasons I really like this drop spot. 1, there's a good amount of metal, and 2, I always have a lot of heals. The point of me telling you that is when it comes to your drop spot, you need to know the exact reason you are dropping where you're dropping. What is the motivation behind the drop spot that you choose? Are you landing there because there's a lot of metal? Are you landing there because there's a lot of heals? Or maybe it's a really decent loot spot, but not many people go there. Now, this next thing is going to be very important, is you need to keep the format in mind 100% of the time in your matches. Only take the fights that you are 100% confident that you're going to win, because at the end of the day, each kill is only worth 1 point. I mean, you're gonna get 3 times that just by capturing your cash, which I'm gonna get to in a minute. Let's go ahead and get another obvious one out of the way. Just be aware of the meta. Understanding whether or not you prefer the drum shotgun or the havoc pump shotgun is pretty important. That's definitely just a playstyle preference. Now, here is something that I consider to be the most important thing that I'm gonna tell you in this video. This is an absolute must do, no avoiding this in this season if you want to successfully qualify consistently. You need to obtain your cash in every single match that you play. And I'm going to give you a life hack secret right now. And it all starts with me telling you what you should carry in your 5 inventory slots. Now, as you guys know, there is no mobility currently in the game that you can carry in your inventory. It is also very important to understand that there are not going to be animals or vehicles in competitive tournaments. With all of that in mind, this is the loadout that I personally am going to be running in tournaments. Starting with a pump shotgun, that is going to be my first inventory slot. The second slot, you can either carry the combat SMG or the flapjack assault rifle, or even the MK if that's your type of weapon. And the other 3 slots, I'm not even kidding, in solos are all going to be heal slots. You need to keep in mind that you're going to be playing for your cash every single game, and if you are successful in that, one of your slots is going to go to slurp juices. In your other 2 slots, you should carry some floppers, because this is still going to be a heavy heal off meta, I feel like. And that leaves you with 1 slot, and I'm telling you right now, this is what you need to carry in that slot: slap juices, especially before you capture your cash. Slap juices are the secret to always getting your cash in solo cash cups this season, and let me explain why. When your cash spawns in at the beginning of 3rd zone every single game, it is always an equal distance away between you and an enemy player. If you have slap juices and the enemy doesn't, you're going to beat them to the cash 100% every single time. There is no other form of mobility in the game that would allow your opponent to beat you to the cash if you have slap juices. I'm not even trolling right now. You take a slap juice and you just beeline straight to your cash as soon as it spawns. I haven't had a single ranked match where this did not get me my cash before the other guy. Now, one thing I would like to mention is if you're going to be doing that, keep in mind that your enemy may also be doing the slap juice strategy, which means you might actually end up there at the same exact time as them. So oftentimes, you're going to have to fight for your cash. That's exactly what happened to me right here. So I'm just going to let you guys see how I won my fight versus this guy and was able to capture my cash loot easy peasy. Oh, another thing as well is that the Transformer Cybertron Mythic Cannon item is not in tournaments. I know that this guy uses it against me in this fight, but I mean, ranked was the best mode I could play for this, so just ignore the fact that he has a cannon, and yeah, enjoy the fight. I'm not even joking when I say this, but that may actually be the only fight you really have to take until you make it to late game in solos this season. Unless you're like a 0 ping maniac who wins every single fight that they take, you can easily qualify to the top 7,500 by not taking very many fights throughout your matches. Just go get your cash, win your fight for it if you have to fight for it, and then make it to late game. Now, I'm going to show you guys exactly how I made it to late game right here. You'll see right here that I marked on my map, this is the path that I'm going to take when I rotate. There are 2 reasons I decided to stay in the jungle to rotate to late game in this match. One being that there is mud in the jungle, which is a little bit of a mobility item if you know how to do the mud slide. Also, it's very very easy to stay hidden when you're going through the jungle, so you can avoid a lot of people if you just know how to navigate through there. And the most important part is this zone has been pulling north the entire game, so I know that it's going to continue to pull up north. If I just go through the jungle, use the mud, get all the way to the top of the zone, I'm gonna be chilling. And to be honest with you, that's exactly what I did, and it worked perfectly fine. I didn't have a single other confrontation until I made it to late game. So now we entered the late game. This is something that a lot of people are going to sleep on in terms of a tip that you guys need to know. Again, we have no mobility, so when you're making these late game rotations, the one thing that you really want to focus on, your goal so to speak, is to use as little materials as you possibly can. One way of doing that is by using the natural landscape of the map, having map knowledge and knowing where there are certain ridges that you can use to rotate to certain areas. Being on the dead side, like take this for example, I'm literally on the full dead side of this zone pool, and I used the mountainside ridge to help me not be seen on my rotate, and in return I ended up saving a ton of materials by doing this. I got myself all the way to this nice little comfy bush right here, and I'm just chilling. Now obviously your solo cash cup games are going to be far more stacked than my Unreal ranked lobby right here, so this is going to be a little bit easier said than done when it comes to being discovered by your enemies. One thing I would say is don't be afraid to build if you feel like you have to, because you always can get a refresh late game that can give you max mats. So if you use a little bit of mats, don't be too hard on yourself. Now I'm gonna let you guys watch how I played out the rest of this match, and what I really want you to focus on is the exact moments that I decided I needed to build. Notice how selective I am when it comes to saving my materials on my rotates. For example, if I know that I can get away with not building, you're gonna notice that I got away with not building. In these no mobility seasons, the IGL players always thrive because they are the players that have the biggest IQ when it comes to making their rotates, setting up their positioning, etc. So I hope you enjoy the way I end this off, and I will meet you again with the outro commentary. Enjoy. Let's go, baby. You love to see that. You actually just love to see that. That is how you play a no mobility meta. Let's go, baby. What's funny is that looking back at it, there were moments there in those late game rotates where I could have probably saved even more mats than I did. There were moments where I built where no one was even looking or shooting at me because I was so smart with the timing of my rotates that I was moving the map when everyone was occupied fighting. When I noticed that height was free, I took it, and from there, it was pretty much GG's. You also have to remember that there's just no siphon in the game, so being on height, third-partying a guy that just got done fighting who is likely still weak because, again, there's no siphon. He really did not have much of a chance there in that final 1v1. Even the slurp juice that he was somehow able to get off was not enough to save him. I hope you guys absolutely loved the video and learned something new. Believe it or not, I edit every single one of these videos myself, and this took a lot of time to put together, so if you want to, you can drop a like. It would help the video to get to more people on YouTube, and it would mean the world to me. I would like to wish you guys the best of luck in your first solo cash cup of Chapter 4 Season 3, and I hope that this video helps you to improve your game. Another thing is I really didn't show off anything like getting the vaults or going for the island. Keep in mind that those things give you 3 points every time you open a vault or capture the island. They've made some very interesting changes this season, and I'm excited to jump into it myself. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. The tourney season's starting very soon, and I have a lot of videos coming up on the solo cash cups as well as duos tournaments. If you want to see another video of mine, it's on screen now. That would mean the world to me. And guys, as always, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day or night. Been your boy JCM, and I will catch you all in the very next video. Peace.